All right, so in this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you guys exactly how I stay in shape with only 3 hours a week in the gym and without counting any of my calories. First, we're gonna talk about workouts, then we're gonna go into nutrition, and then lastly, we're gonna talk about cardio. So I'm gonna just get right into it. All right, before we get into it, I am gonna do a little bit of self-promo, so bear with me here, but I do offer personalized coaching, my fitness guide, and 24/7 access. So if any of these interest you, DM me at Preston__888, and all right, we can go ahead and get into it now. For workouts, the first tip or strategy that I implement into my workouts that allowed me to cut my gym time in half, low volume, high intensity approach. So you're gonna up the weight and you're gonna lower the reps. For example, most people in the gym be doing at least 3, but usually 4 sets of like 10, 4 sets of 12. All you need is 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps for the majority of your movements. The way I usually do 2, but I would recommend if you're just starting to lower the volume to do 3, but 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps. And once you're at a weight where you can do 8 reps on all of your sets, up the weight just a little bit so that you're back down to 6 or in that 6 range, and then repeat. Once you're back up to 8, up the weight a little bit until you're back down to 6, and keep repeating that process. But 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps. You don't need a lot of volume. You don't have to be doing 4 sets, 5 sets. Your muscles have to be able to recover. So if they can't recover, they're not gonna grow. When you're in the gym, you're not growing your muscles, you're working your muscles. But think of it as this: when you're in the gym, you're doing your work, you're tearing the muscles. And then when you're outside of the gym, you're resting and your muscles are building back better than they were before. So when we're in the gym, we tear them. When we're out of the gym, we actually grow them. So the more you're tearing them, the harder it is for them to have to grow back. If you tear them too much, they can't grow. You have to, rest is the most important thing because your muscles have to have time to grow. A lot of people will copy people on steroids and enhanced lifters, but if you are a natural lifter, which if you're watching this video, I assume you're a natural lifter. Natural lifters can't play by the same rule book as enhanced lifters because what steroids do is they make it easier for your muscles to recover. They help muscle recovery. They can do higher volume without stalling the muscle growth because they can recover faster. So they can do more and still recover from it, which natural lifters, we can't recover as well as they can. So we can't be doing 4 sets, 5 sets of 12. That's ridiculous. Our muscles can't recover from that. And a lot of people think that if you're sore in the gym, that's a good thing. Yes, being sore is normal sometimes, but you shouldn't always be super sore. That means you're probably overworking your muscles and they're probably not recovering the way they should be recovering. And if they don't recover, you will not grow. I don't care what you think. If the way it worked was that the more you do, the bigger you grow, then people would just be in the gym 24 hours a day. No one does that because that's not how it works. You have to balance it and you have to be able to recover. The second thing I'm gonna say is hitting each muscle group twice a week. Whatever your split is, it doesn't matter what your split is. There's no best split. The split is about what's best for you, what works for you. But at the end of the day, all you have to do is make sure you're hitting each muscle group twice a week. Whatever your split is, triceps should be hit twice a week, biceps should be hit twice a week, back twice a week, shoulders twice a week, chest twice a week, legs twice a week. You get the point. But push, pull, whatever split you're doing, push, pull legs, upper, lower, it doesn't matter. As long as each muscle group is being hit twice a week, then your split is fine. I enjoy doing my 3-day split, but if you want to go to the gym 6 times a week, you can. You just have to structure it correctly so that you're hitting each muscle group twice a week. You don't want to do more than that because you're going to have trouble recovering, and you don't want to do less than that because then you're not working your muscles enough. So obviously, I'm teaching you guys how to efficiently get in shape, so I'm going to go over my 3-day split. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to put my 3-day split on the screen right here. You guys can take a screenshot of that, but this is my 3-day split. And as you can see, I have multiple compound lifts in here because if you want to be efficient in the gym, obviously you can isolate every single muscle and do a specific workout for each muscle with isolation. But I add compound lifts into my program because I don't want to be in the gym 6 days a week or for 2 hours a day. I enjoy the compound lifts because one lift can hit multiple muscle groups, obviously making your time in the gym lower. But yeah, that's my split. If you guys want to go ahead and screenshot it, you can use it. Let me know how it works for you. Then lastly, when it comes to working out, partial reps. Okay, so a partial rep is after you have failed in your set, say you're doing bicep curls, you do one full rep, and then you go back down. You can barely do another one, but you're going to do another one, but you're not going to do another full one. You're going to go up as much as you can. If that's halfway, that's fine, but that would be considered a partial rep. Say I'm going full, now I'm tired, I can't go anymore, so I'm gonna go half up, and then I'm gonna go a quarter up, and then I'm done. But a partial rep is when you can't do a full rep again, but you're doing mini reps, going as much as you can, pushing yourself, because that's gonna get you past your plateau. So if you're stalling in the gym, your muscles aren't growing, you feel like you've hit a big plateau, incorporate partial reps. And when you hit failure, continue to go, but just go as much as you can. It's okay if you're not doing full reps. Don't cheat it, don't be swinging your body. Just go up as much as you can. If you can't go up all the way, that's fine. Just go up as far as you can until you literally can't go up anymore. So we're going to true failure. This is true failure because you're incorporating the partial reps. Yes, going to failure in terms of full reps is fine, but to get over your plateaus, you need to be going to true failure, which means you're incorporating the partial reps along with the full reps. Now I'm gonna go into nutrition, and the first big thing with nutrition, obviously I don't count my calories, but I've been doing this for a while. The way you can get to not counting your calories is, I'm gonna say, count your calories for 1 month. For 1 month, count all of your calories, pay attention to your food labels, to the nutrition labels, just become more aware of what you're eating, how much you're putting into your body. Because a lot of people think that they're eating a certain amount, and then they actually track their calories and they're like 1,000 over, or they're 1,000 under. Most people, if you've never tracked your calories before, most people don't understand how much everything really is by just looking at it. But once you've tracked your calories for like a month-ish, maybe less, maybe a little more, but once you've tracked your calories for a little bit, you can stop tracking calories and you can look at things and just say, oh, that usually has around this much in it. This usually has around that much in it. Okay, that usually has around this much in it. And you can kind of estimate what you're eating for the day. Like, I don't count my calories, but I still know that I'm eating around my maintenance level. And unless you're trying to compete or get on stage, you don't need to be exactly perfect on your calories. It's okay if you're 100 calories over. It's okay if you're 200 calories under one day. That's fine. We're not here to be perfect. We're here to be healthy and in shape. So count your calories for 1 month, and then after that month, or however long it takes you to really get used to what things are and what the nutrition labels have in them, just look at the food. After that month of counting your calories, you can now look at the foods, kind of estimate what they are, but you don't need to just count calories every day for the rest of your life. It's really just not necessary, which goes on to my next point. If you're eating, which for my diet and for my clients, what I recommend is to eat at least 80% organic whole foods. At least 80%, most of your meals, at least 80% of them should be organic whole foods. Meat, rice, potatoes, like real food, nothing processed, nothing in a package, like real, well, obviously it can be in a package, but like real foods. You guys know exactly what I mean by that. Real organic whole foods. No processed stuff, no junk, no candy, real organic whole foods. Another big one, because I know if you're trying to lose weight or if you're just trying to stick to a diet, it's very hard to do that without craving sugar and craving the snacks that you love. So what you're gonna do is find a protein snack that you like that replaces the snacks that you like. For example, I love eating ice cream. So I found this protein ice cream. It has 30 grams of protein. It has 430 calories in the whole entire pint, and it has less than 15 grams of sugar in the whole thing. So obviously it's not the healthiest thing in the world, but if it weren't for these, I would be eating real ice cream with more sugar and no protein. So obviously this is better than that. So I'm gonna replace that with this, and that's gonna curb my cravings. But your diet does not have to be perfect. You just need to have a very decent diet. It does not have to be the best diet in the world. Moral of the story is, your diet doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. To help you stay on your diet, find healthy versions of the things that you love. I love ice cream, so I have protein ice cream with low sugar. Another way, if you're trying to stay in shape, this is gonna be a strategy to not overeat. Try to push your first meal of the day as far back as you can. So if you wake up, a lot of people just wake up and they eat because it's breakfast, you wake up and you eat. Wait maybe a couple hours, just a few hours. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You don't have to have your first meal at 3, 4 o'clock. But if you can push back your first meal until 12 or 1 or even 11. But just push back your first meal as far as you can, and it's gonna make it a little bit harder to overeat during the day. A strategy for if you're trying to gain weight: drink your calories. If you can find, I actually have this in my fitness guide with all my nutrition plans, but a smoothie, you know what, I'm just gonna put the recipe to the smoothie right here. I'm gonna put y'all on. But find a smoothie that has a lot of calories and a lot of protein, and just drink that once or twice a day. And then also another thing that's good to drink is Mass Gainer. It has like 1,300 calories, bunch of protein. It's just, if you're not good at eating a lot of food, I get full very easily, so it's hard for me to gain weight and get over my calorie intake. So I just drink the calories. It's so much easier. Another thing that a lot of people make the mistake of, which I don't even know why this is a thing, but people think to lose weight or to stay in shape, they need to cut out their carbs. Don't cut out your carbs. You're gonna have no energy. You're gonna feel terrible. Don't cut out your carbs. You need your carbs. That's what fuels your body. Just focus on healthy carbs, like potatoes, rice, oats, but focus on healthy carbs. You don't want to have an insane amount of carbs, but have a reasonable amount of carbs, but do not cut out your carbs. You're not gonna have any energy. You're not gonna get good workouts in, and then you're gonna wanna quit. You're gonna feel terrible. If you don't feel good, you're not gonna continue because you don't feel good. We want to feel good, don't we? Another tip with your calorie deficits or calorie surpluses: if you're trying to lose weight, 500 calorie deficit. If you're trying to gain weight, 500 calorie surplus. You really don't need to be doing more than this unless for some reason you want to gain weight super fast or lose weight super fast, which I wouldn't recommend. The healthiest and best way to do this is to be in a 500 calorie deficit or a 500 calorie surplus, because with a 500 calorie surplus, you can gain weight while still not gaining too much fat. You still will stay lean and gain weight and gain muscle. With a 500 calorie deficit, you can lose weight while still retaining that muscle that you have. If you're in like a 1,000, 1,500 calorie deficit, you're probably gonna lose a lot of muscle. So unless you're okay with losing a lot of muscle or gaining a lot of fat, when you're trying to gain or lose, stay within the 500 range, 500 up or 500 down. You don't need to be at a 2,000 calorie surplus or a 2,000 calorie deficit or a 2,000 calorie surplus. That's not necessary. 500 on both ends if you want to retain your muscle on the lower side, or if you want to not gain too much fat on the higher side. Another big tip: finding simple, fast meals that work for you. For me, that one was my quick smoothie that I make and my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's just super quick. I make it, eat it, 5 minutes, done. But whether you're trying to gain weight or lose weight, whenever you're in a time crunch, you need the protein, you need the calories, make the quick snack, eat it, go. But just always have a few quick snacks, a few quick high protein snacks that you have able to make whenever. But at the end of the day, when it comes to your diet, the most important thing is that it's sustainable. If your diet isn't sustainable, you're not gonna be consistent with it. And the biggest thing in the gym is consistency. That's the biggest thing in anything. If your diet is not sustainable, for example, if your diet says that you can't have any sugar throughout the day, you're not gonna do that. I don't do that. No one does that. Make your diet sustainable and somewhat enjoyable so that you can continue doing it every day for the rest of your life and stay healthy. You want to have a sustainable diet so you can stay consistent and reach your goals. All right, now I'm gonna talk about cardio, which is actually gonna be a lot simpler than you probably expected, but walk. Literally just walk, just move around, just walk. No crazy running, no crazy sports, no crazy stuff. Literally just walk. My rule of thumb is 10,000 steps a day. If you don't have anything to track your steps, you can either buy a watch, or if you don't want to buy anything, I will do an hour walk a day. I like to track my steps, but if you can't track your steps, an hour walk a day at least. Obviously, if you want to do other forms of cardio, like I ride my bike, I go for runs, but when I'm lazy, I just walk. I feel like that's the easiest, laziest thing you can do, just walk. 10,000 steps a day. But all you need to do is move. And if you're gonna say you don't have time to get your steps in, you do. And if you're really not gonna get your steps in, just stop watching the video, because you're obviously not gonna put in the work. But at the end of the day, you have time to get 10,000 steps in a day. Even if you need to go on 5-minute increment walks, go on a handful of 5-minute walks a day to make up an hour. but you have time to get 10,000 steps in. That's all the cardio you need. Of course, you can do other forms of cardio if you want, but at the end of the day, that's all the cardio that you actually need. We're getting to the end of the video, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, but I will put my services on the screen here. I have one-on-one coaching, I have my fitness guide, and then also my 24/7 access. You guys can pause this and read it all if you want, if you're interested. If not, subscribe for more content. Appreciate y'all watching.